great to talk to you again. We spoke in the first junket, but this
Yes.
show now it's running, and this character, your version, your Raven. I talked to Michael a little bit yesterday too about it, and I'd like to hear you talk about how unhinged this character is and how much fun you seem to be having, letting us into that world.
Yeah. I she's fully becomes the screws are become full loose and she goes full rave. Um, yeah, she is having like a full little rave in her head. It's kind of a disastrous place, but um, you know, she starts really pretty composed. It was fun to be able to play that arc of in control, on in her perch, like literally a bird perch where she's, just telling all her little ravens and minions what to do. And then to see her get to like be thrust into this environment with a lot of other characters who also are fighting really hard for what they want. And yeah, to see her like interact with all these people who are um, just larger than life characters was like my favorite part. And to see her kind of become friends a little bit for like a minute and then try
Yeah.
to kill somebody,
Is
the next minute.
so there's two things that I think about. One is that there's so many big performances and personalities here. How do
Hmm.
you guys work to keep it grounded as you go? Like that like you have to keep grounding it and kind of like play with contrast and make sure that like everything isn't at the same level high, but like it's variant and it
Yeah.
works. But I'm
Yeah.
so fascinated to know what the orchestration of that is like for you as a cast.
Yeah, I think everyone is just being so true to their character that it is grounded. Like, yes, the characters like on paper are bonkers, insane, but they're all humans and going
Sort of.
through some sort of and going through something. And
Yeah.
so I think just playing the truth of the scene for each character made it work. Like
Yes. So
the wants, everyone wants something so bad, which makes it work. And that's like the most important thing I think for any character for you to get like invested in the characters. Like, what do they want? You
and
know?
in the case of your Raven, it's
Hmm.
pretty clear right from the rip what's like at stake here, what she wants, and she veers a bit, and
Yeah.
like it kind of comes apart. So, can you talk a little bit about that initial seed, like that honesty, and like what she's really after, and what she might be losing sight of?
Yeah, I think the heart of it is love and acceptance. Like she had this relationship where I think it was probably the only place in her life where she felt that.
Yeah,
And so that's a really powerful driver for humans.
yeah.
Like we all need that. And so if you have a place where you get that and then it's taken from you and you think that that's the only way you're ever going to have that thing again.
Mm.
Um, and if you're not going to therapy, um, then
Do you have like, did you have in season two a favorite sort of scene or section, like sequence of like things you got to do or play as you were doing it? Because you may have not seen yet the finished product of all of it, but
I really loved in the episode where we're all fighting the dummies. There was like a sequence where I'm like going to the shower, and then the next time you see me, I have like this shower wrap, and then I go to like into that room and pick up like plate and like kill a dummy, and just blood splatters in my face. And like, I was like, this is so fun. Like, because it looks like I'm really strong. And then I get to do like a stunt where I'm like getting just, the people are there with the blood, and then you do the thing, and then they like, pew, and it just like worked. And like the blood went everywhere. And it's like a 2-second thing in the show, but it was just those kind of things were so much fun to do. And it feels like, oh, we're just kids making a film, even though it's like huge scale, but it brings it down to like the humans like with their hands making something.
And the practical element sounds like it's pretty important in that. What are the
Yeah.
parts of this, like obviously so many effects, so
Yeah.
much going on there, but what are the parts of this that are practical that really help you? Like that's a great example. Are there other things where you're like, can you talk? I'm always curious about the like. There's stuff that's happening that's there, and then there's
Mhm.
stuff you have to invent in your head, and like how you manage that as a performer to be like,
Mhm.
okay, what's here? It's not just the screen thing, you know?
Right. Right.
Like,
And
right.
I'm looking at a hat, but it's supposed to be a person. Yeah, no. Um, I that's the cool part about this show is that so much of it was practical that you could kind of just be in it, which was really cool. But the one thing that comes to mind as well is the stunt cars that I don't know if MJ or anyone talked to you about how those work yet, but there's like a
No.
driver on top of the car. So you're
Mhm.
in the car, normal, and then, sorry, there's trash trucks. And then there's a driver on top of the car who's controlling it. Or like in the case of Sweet Tooth's truck, there was, I think they had to like paint out the driver, but he was in the mail truck seat, Sweet Tooth was, and then the driver was in the driver's seat.
Ah.
So they like rig up the a NASCAR driver was on top of the car and I was in there, with the wheel like looking like I was controlling anything or like my pedals worked, but didn't have to do any of that.
So it's like when you give the kid or like Maggie Simpson in the opening credits of The Simpsons, like that's
Exactly.
what
I
you
was
are.
Maggie Simpson sitting on my dad's lap just doing it whatever. That's exactly what it was like. It was you're just in there, but then you're reacting to the intensity of it
But it's happening
because,
because someone's driving that car for you, so you have to pretend like
oh,
you're in control, but they're in control.
oh, it's happening. But you can feel because you're actually going, 0 to 60, like towards a brick wall, and then you're actually turning. So, I mean, full sweat, full
That's
body sweat
amazing. And also
from
because you have no control, so it's just up to that
no
guy or
control.
girl, whoever's up
It's
there.
really
Like,
like a Jesus take the wheel. Like, I mean, sir, I hope you had your morning coffee. Like, just
you guys
it,
talk beforehand at all, or you
yeah,
just like,
yeah, yeah. The stunt team was so incredible. Like, I felt totally taken care of, but it really was like just pop on in this thing and, you know,
sounds fun. I
yeah,
mean, it sounds crazy, but sounds fun. I
yeah,
want to segue a little bit. I want to hear you talk a little bit about Madisynn, even though it's a different property and you can't tell us what's going to happen or if anything is going to happen. But people are talk about Madisynn all the time on the internet, are very curious. It's a very fully realized character from a fun show. And I'm
yeah.
curious what your feelings are about her and just kind of your experience inhabiting it and how that comes with a certain, also big fan base, but just way more like teeth in it, all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty surreal, the whole thing. I remember the producer of the show when the episode was coming out was like, it's like Christmas morning, like people are gonna love this. And I was like, okay, I don't know. You just don't really know. And then the Marvel fan base is so invested in every frame of everything that comes out. I had no idea. Um,
But they liked you, so
but
like
they
you.
liked me. And so thank thank you. Like, because if they don't like you, that's not very fun.
Right.
So they did, and that was just it was cool. It was cool to hear people's ideas of what they wanted to see, what else they wanted to see. It was funny to see things that were like, I hated her immediately, and then I couldn't live without her. Like things like people who just, because it's kind of like the thing where you see somebody and you're like, oh, this person's going to be like annoying and I'm never going to talk to them. But then you like another second of it and you're like, oh, okay. It's just like we judge people so
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Characters have, and it's so hard to embody these characters that are so established for people, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
we'll be
definitely a
excited to see.
trope, but
Yeah,
then I think hopefully we got to like pull some layers back and see a little bit more.
hopefully
Yeah,
we'll get to see more.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I have to wrap, but thank you so much for taking the time.